But you can tell Connie just is sold on this kid, right? And that's what you're doing with these long-term deals. That's what you're doing with not doing a bridge contract, is that you're projecting out into the future. Okay, we know what this player is going to be, or we think we know what this player is going to be, and we think he's a pillar of our organization. Let's just get this done.
Let's touch on the Coronado thing, because it's part of the conversation with the Zari situation. Obviously, Connie locks up Coronado 7 years, right?
Yeah.
You can't. Can you do 8?
Could have done 8.
Could have done 8.
Sure, that was maybe that's just a bit of a concession, right? Like the Coronado camp probably wants to hit UFA still with an ability to have another shot at a deal. So that's probably just give and take. Like maybe the Flames were saying 8, the Coronado camp saying 6, compromise in the middle.
For the dollar value, you were saying anything under 7 was a great deal.
Yeah.
Coronado is an interesting player amongst the fan base to me, because you have, from what I can tell, there's a group of fans that, and I think Connie's in the same group, they see what this guy has done so far in this league, and they can tell the ceiling is fucking high on this guy in terms of scoring goals. Then you also have a group of fans that are not sold on him yet. And we were sold on this guy from fucking training camp. We were sold on him last year. Some people can just see it before others. Others have to wait until it happens. But I think Connie's more on the former group, where he sees that the ceiling on this guy is high. Most likely, I mean, first full season in the NHL, 24 goals, 23 assists. The guy worked his balls off. He's winning battles. He's got an unbelievably elite shot.
Yeah.
So as far as dollar value, break that down for us. Why is this a good deal for the Flames?
Well, I think it's a good deal because, like you said, you're projecting because this bridge, is it a touchy subject in Calgary, the bridge versus long term, because the Flames notoriously signed the worst, the most ridiculous bridge contract probably in NHL history with Matthew Tkachuk. So, anytime there's a bridge versus long-term discussion, everybody's thinking about that, remember the time we made the biggest mistake that an NHL team has made in probably 25 years.
And unfortunately for us Flames fans, the rest of the league has really learned from Brad Treliving's mistake. It seems to now be the norm that, you lock up your superstars as early and as long as you can.
Yeah, it's called the Brad Treliving effect. It's what I like. It's what I like to pick up on. This has happened a couple times. It happened after that, when it was like, and I mean, some of these longer term deals were getting signed before the Tkachuk thing happened. But after it happened, I remember Elliot Friedman saying, like, a lot of teams have looked at what happened in Calgary and are like, we don't want that to happen, and adjusted their contract strategies accordingly. This also happened with the first round pick Brad traded that almost became a lottery pick in the Travis Hamonic deal. And unprotected firsts have been traded since, but not nearly as often, like pretty much across the board now, with some exceptions. Like we have Vegas's unprotected first next year. Pretty much across the board, teams know now to lottery protect their picks, because they saw that the Flames almost lost what became second overall that year in 2018. Yep. So it's just a little
another Brad Treliving effect.
Yeah, the league, the league management strategies generally go in the direction of just don't do what the Flames did. Don't do what Treliving did, and you'll probably be okay. So it was interesting. Connie said that the deal, they started working on the deal and drafting up the deal during that New York road trip. And they sat down over dinner and kind of got a feel for each other. But you can tell Connie just is sold on this kid, right?
Yep.
And that's what you're doing with these long-term deals. That's what you're doing with not doing a bridge contract, is that you're projecting out into the future. Okay, we know what this player is going to be, or we think we know what this player is going to be, and we think he's a pillar of our organization. Let's just get this done. So with where the cap is probably headed, getting a player who, and you talked about his ceiling, his floor is what? Probably a 20-goal scorer. Even if that you take him at his floor, what he did this year, 26-goal pace on one of the lowest scoring teams in the league. Let's say he's no better than a 20-goal scorer for the duration of this contract, $6.5 million. This year would be, yeah, that's fine. Next year is fine. 5, 6, 7 years down the road, that's still a very good deal, because obviously $1 today is not the same as $1 in 3, 4, 5 years. So I think even just like currently, if you took Matt Coronato in a vacuum and said, okay, you're paying this player $6.5 million, that's still a very good deal. And then you project, well, shit, he's a 30-goal guy. Where's he going to be at when he's 24, 25, 26, 27, still under contract? So I just think these deals with players that you believe in and players that have shown the things that a guy like Coronado has shown, it's all reward and very little risk. You know, because like I said, even if he doesn't hit his ceiling, his floor is still pretty solid, and you'd still be comfortable paying that player. What, like, is he going to get better? Like, most all players get better through these years, 23, 24, 25, 26. And then they start to decline. So, you know, I think it's just a great piece of business to get it done now, get it done right when this season's over. Lock him in at a reasonable number for the team. You bought some UFA years. It didn't cost you that much. So, you know, I just think it's a great deal all around for the player that he is. And again, like you said, we know what he's going to be, right? Like, everybody watched him this year. I think we've been sold on him for a long time. Maybe it took some other people a little bit longer to get there. He's probably going to have some ups and downs during the contract, but I just think this is a great deal.
It definitely silences a lot of the, what does this become? Ever since the Fox thing and the Matty Tkachuk thing, all the American-born players, especially if they're have any ties to the New York area, will just want to go back to New York.
They're just waiting for their chance.
And, you know, like, well, you kind of already know that's bullshit. It doesn't happen very often. Obviously, it happened with Lindros not signing in Quebec. And then we dealt with it with Fox, unfortunately. But it's an unfair thing to superimpose on American players in Canadian markets. I mean, and it's kind of dumb, actually. It's a dumb blanket.
Kind of dumb.
It's a dumb blanket to put on players. I mean, we're still dealing with this.
Yeah.
After the Coronado signing, it's just like, oh, I thought he wanted to leave. And then you have people, oh, Tkachuk, yeah, the bridge deal with Zari. Oh, yeah, he always wanted to leave. It's fucking Tkachuk did not always want to leave. You can take multiple media. You can tell by his body language. Like, he was so sold and bought into this team for the first 4 years that he was here. We don't need to get into it again. We've the amount of hours we spent talking about blowing.
People will still argue this. Like, it's crazy. Like, I don't want to get into it again, but it's like, we need to make like an informational video and post it about like what actually happened with the Tkachuk situation sometime, just to shut everyone the fuck up.
Obviously, when the team tells them to tone it down, they don't give them the captaincy. Then they dick around with.
Well, here's like the basic, like, think about, this is again why these long-term deals I think work the best, because it's not, this is going to sound weird, but it's like you're locking these guys in at an age where they're not really thinking that far down the line. They're just like you have more control over the situation, right? Yeah. They don't have any other options.
Exactly.
If you're 22 and you're being presented a $40+ million contract, like, what are you going to do
after your first full season?
Your first full season, you're going to say, no, I will take the smaller deal and I want to leave. And also just the mental aspect of like, most of these guys just want to play, especially when you're that age, you're just drafted. You haven't been in the league that much, not just drafted, but, you know, recently drafted. You're still loyal to the team that drafted you, right? Just lock them up when they're here. They're willing to stay. They don't know that the grass is probably greener, right? Because that's the thing I always took away from the Tkachuk thing that nobody ever fucking asked the question is, it's not that he never didn't want to be here from the start, because like you said, you can go watch his interviews, you can go watch every single media report. The guy's out there saying, I want to spend my entire career here. I want to win a championship in Calgary.
Well, dude, and then after he lifts the Stanley Cup last season, he's he's giving a shout out to the Calgary fans. It's like
the question is like, oh, American players, should we have signed? What happened in those 3 years to get him from going, I want to spend my career here, to I want the fuck out of here, and don't give them the opportunity to, like, because you're Matthew Tkachuk, you're in the league every day. Like, even just look at Rasmus Anderson, right? Like, a guy who probably when he was 22, 23 thought he would be with the Flames forever, right? That's just how you think when you're that age, probably as a kid. I mean, there's some cases that, these players aren't like that, and it is changing a little bit in the league for sure. But when you're that age, right, you're just locked in like Tkachuk was. You're just like, this is my sole focus, is playing hockey for this team that drafted me.
Well, and if you see your team, taking a building, they're on a building path, and you're supposed to be getting better and better and better, then you can see the end goal. It'll say, yeah, I want to win a cup here in Calgary. Breaking news coming in from Bet365, where every nail-biting overtime winner is a barn burner. Every face-off, hat-trick, power play, shot on goal, penalty shot, and every suspenseful minute in between is amazing. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. An official partner of the NHL. Download the Bet365 app and use code NATION to get in on the game. Must be 19 or older. Please play responsibly.
Right? It's all about leverage, and that's what these kind of contracts give you. Is like, okay, you had all the leverage. You signed him to a team-friendly deal. You also committed to him. You committed to him. You didn't get around and say, well, like, we want to see a little bit more. Like, we want you to prove, like, it was just like, no, it's no bullshit. And I think that's ultimately what I like about the deal, is that it shows
100%.
that Craig is in line with this philosophy of
Craig's
signing players like right out of their ELC if he sees what he likes. And that's kind of what I see so far. One of the differences between Craig and Brad. Like, Craig seems to be much more in the mold of like evaluating talent, right? He seems to be a good talent evaluator.
Yep.
Where Brad was kind of just like always like,
he was always chasing the next unicorn,
and it was always
he's always chasing,
penny pinching and like counting your beans and just like shit like this, and like, oh, he's gonna squeeze just a little bit out of, like, I remember the Johnny Gaudreau initial contract negotiation was really rough. He wasn't at training camp. Remember that one? It was just like he was always just trying to squeeze $1 into $1.10, right? And it's like, oh, the Tkachuk extension. Well, I don't want to I'm capped out, so we can't sign you to the deal you want because I need that extra $2 million that would be on your cap if you signed long term. So it's just always kind of like this penny pinching, squeezing, like, I'm going to squeeze here, right? That's kind of what some of the differences.
Yeah, and I mean,
like, Craig believes in these guys.
And you hear the players, they always, we know, we understand there's a business, this is a business, but you still take it. Like, a guy like Tkachuk still takes that, to heart, right? Oh, the team wanted to prioritize other needs ahead of mine, and now I'm in the position of leverage. Maybe I want to use that now. So definitely that was the first domino to get set up. And then obviously, the team telling him to change his style, tone it down. Lucic, we don't have to ride every night. Change your style of play. Look at how fucking effective that's been in Florida the past 3 seasons in the playoffs.
Only 2 Stanley Cup finals and a Stanley Cup. What do you mean?
I mean, as a fan, you're just like, I love that shit. Give me that shit every fucking night. No, I want to ride every night. I don't care what Lucic wants. He doesn't fucking. He won't. What were we talking about the other day? He won't fucking fight when. Was it Kadri got nailed?
Kadri got nailed against in New York, Trouba. Everybody else fought.
So Dubé's got
fighting, but Lucic didn't fight.
No, just scowls on the bench. Oh, well, Cassie, look at that.
Look at Lucic's face. He's really mad.
Obviously, the captaincy is a big thing. Again, we've been big proponents of, like, look at Brady. Brady's the example of what to do. Ottawa locks him up. They make him the captain. They build his team around him. They see, and it's just, we didn't do that. And a guy like Matthew Tkachuk is going to see the writing on the wall at some point and be like, you know what? Yeah, these guys have not treated me like I'm maybe not has to be the absolute most valuable piece in the organization, but it has to be in the top 3 pieces, right? So, I mean, we've had this argument.
Well, I just think it's funny that, like, now it's so obvious in retrospect. Everybody looks at everybody's so scared of a bridge deal.
But for us, it was obvious in the moment.
Oh, yeah, totally. Everybody was so scared of a bridge deal now for any situation when it was like, no, just don't bridge your franchise player. That's what you don't do. Like sometimes a bridge deal is appropriate, but that's when it's not appropriate for sure. And it wasn't even that it was a bridge deal either. I don't know. We can get into we've talked about it for fucking 5 years now, but it wasn't even that it was a bridge deal. It was that the contract of the structure of that deal functionally made Matthew Tkachuk pretty much a UFA at the end of that. It also coincided in the same summer that you had to sign Johnny Gaudreau. And hey, we were sitting there when it was signed and everybody was like, this is such a good deal. We were like, this could be a fucking disaster. The Flames need to, it was like, okay.
Yeah. I can still hear you in my ears today saying you're going to potentially walk Johnny Gaudreau and Matthew Tkachuk to free agency within a season of each other. This is dangerous.
Huge time, big time dangerous. So
and then it comes back to bite you. And now here, look at where we are. Rebuild.
I know. I know. So, hey, it's great they locked him up. I think I like to see the Flames. Like I said, I think that's the biggest positive. Like, obviously, I'm happy Coronado got paid, but I'm happy that the Flames committed to him and showed that
100%.
They are willing to sign deals like this.
Yeah, you mentioned it, the difference between Craig and Brad so far. This is another good example. I did want to also give credit to Connie. Not only does he have the vision, like you spoke of, but you really see the value the stock of value he's put into building culture with this team. And I think this is a big payoff.
Yeah.
Even after we talked about on the garbage day episode, all the players, all the management talking about, the culture where this is a big build that last year was a big building piece set in place. And to me, this is a payoff of all that work. You have a guy like Matt Coronato where it's just like, fuck, yep, I can see myself here long-term. I like what's happening. I like the culture that's being built here. I want to be a part of it. I like the direction this team's committed to heading. So I want to give Connie credit for not only obviously making the signing happening, having the vision to see this guy's value and where he places on the team in the upcoming future, but also creating that atmosphere and the culture to sell Coronado on Calgary.
Yeah. And that's just a commitment. That's a commitment from team to player that makes you want to be here, right?
Yep.
That's the other thing. We want guys who want to be here. Well, then fucking commit to them.
And then I think it sets up a Dustin Wolf extension perfectly.
Yeah.
You have a guy like Dustin Wolf, same thing, American born. Oh, does he want to leave? So you have a guy like Coronado and the commitment that the team shows to him and vice versa, Coronado to the team. And it makes it easier decision for Dustin Wolf. It's like, yeah, okay, I can see where the future's heading. I want to be a big piece of that as well. So I think it sets up a nice, big, long Dustin Wolf extension perfectly.
Hey, buddies. Thanks for watching. We appreciate it. Also, if you could throw in a like and subscribe, it does help us out with what it is we are doing. And check out more at flamesnation.ca.